Hello, welcome to You Know What? Friday night, date night with Dr. Conti. Listen, get your friends. Let me put this up here, whether it's couples, whether it is singles. This is Valentine month. This is relationship month for my 12 months to a better you book, the international bestseller. It is Relate Well with Others month. And I decided to do date night with Dr. Conti every Friday night. So tonight it is date night. So welcome. Hopefully you are snuggled in, particularly if you are here in Houston or the Texas area, because we are extremely cold. We are experiencing a freeze here. So welcome. Everybody share, tag, and like. This one you don't want to miss. Date night with Dr. Conti. So go ahead, grab your juice or your adult beverage or water. I happen to love cranberry juice with tonic water and a touch of lime. Now I know it's a mocktail, but that's my thing. That's what I love. Now, we are going to be talking about some amazing things. First of all, it is also National Wear Red Day. National Wear Red Day. If you're joining me, please pop on and say hello, tag someone, share this information, hit like. You're going to not be disappointed. We're going to be talking about healthy love and what does healthy love look like. All right. And so if you're coming on now or if you're coming on late, still share, still tell me who you are, still chime in. This is going to be a participatory live. I want to hear from you all. What do you feel like healthy love is? Do you think you have healthy love? Are you one of those people who have never ever had healthy love? We're going to talk about all of that. Let me see. If you're watching, please say hello to me. Give StreamYard permission to show me your name. I am your queen, Dr. Conti Terrell. And, for the last 20 to 25 years, I was sharing earlier today on my live about the fact that people have contacted me for years. Whether I have had the privilege of being able to do what I love, whether it was radio, TV, whether it was writing in my books, or whether it was counseling or coaching. I've had the ability to talk to people and talk with them about their relationships. And so many of them oftentimes have talked to me, or you guys know me for handling abuse, infidelity, betrayal, all of those things, different emotional upheavals in your relationship. But most of the time, people also ask, well, if I'm doing it all wrong, or if all of these things are bad, and I know that they are, because most people know when they're in a bad toxic relationship. But they ask, well, what does healthy look like, Dr. Conti? Help me with what healthy looks like. And that is so not say hello. I see the heart. Say hello. That is so not a hard question to answer. But it so surprised me that so many people don't know what healthy love looks like. Please comment, say hello. Do you know, before I get started, this is a participatory live. I want to hear from you. This is date night with Dr. Conti. Go grab you something. Get yourself comfortable. I'm comfortable, as you can see. And I want to talk about this. If you are a couple, hey, Nikki Jackson, that's my daughter. If you are a couple, get you and your man together. If you are single, tag some of your girlfriends, because we have got a lot to talk about tonight. So first of all, I want to say this. We talked about, like I said, people contacted me about their unhealthy situations. And so listen, I'm gonna pull up some stuff on your screen, but this is my what does healthy love look like PowerPoint. And so I do it in several different stages. I've done this for many, many years. And so I'm not going to do the first stage in its full entirety because it talks about why women stay, first of all, in unhealthy relationships. Why men too, this is right. This is not for just men. This is not for just women. This is for men as well. But mostly this talks about why we stay in unhealthy relationships. So we're not going to do a whole lot of that. We're going to really get into what does healthy love look like, okay? But these are some things, reasons why I wrote in my PowerPoint that women stay in toxic and unhealthy relationships, thinking that the person will change. One of the number one things, well, he'll change. He'll get better. Even with men, women are toxic as well. We have some women out there who have not done the work and they don't know what healthy look like. So, they may have the gone and seen Mr. Dr. Miami, and so they're attracting these men because you guys are very visual if men are watching. And so then you realize that they're very unhealthy. And so same thing, women who have had trauma or maybe never had trauma, but you grew up watching a marriage or a household with parents that you felt like, yes, girl, Dr. Miami, y'all know about Dr. Miami. You grew up in a household where what you saw, you thought was normal. And so you're healthy and your mind is healthy because this is what you've seen. And let me tell you, just because you've been in a relationship for over 20, 30 years does not make it healthy. Does not make it healthy. All right. And so a lot of times, for those who don't know, I have helped married couples. I can line this room up with married couples that will tell you, and I kid you not, I'm going to have a couple of them come on throughout this month because I'm going to be doing this every Friday night in February. I need to have a couple of them come on who have said I saved their marriage. So y'all don't underestimate this information, this valuable information that you are about to receive. So a lot of times men and women stay in toxic relationships because they think the person is going to change. They think the person really does love them and that's enough. Let me tell you, love is not enough to keep you in a relationship. It takes more than love. And that is even if it's a healthy love. Okay? So just imagine you in a relationship with someone who is not healthy and you're saying, well, they really love me or I really love them and they have potential. One of the things I say about potential is not doing nothing now. And you can replace that nothing with a few other adjectives. Not doing anything now is what potential is. Okay. Also, they said they wouldn't do it again. They're not going to lie again. They're not going to cheat again. They're not going to disrespect you again. They said they're not going to do it again, and they continue to do it, and you believe it. I'm just throwing out a few reasons why people stay in bad relationships, men and women. This one is for women. I'll have a baby. He wants me to have a baby. I'll have a baby, and things will change. And y'all look, this is old. I've had this for years. I've done this for years. All right, and I've gotten so many people privately saying, Dr. Conti, you need to do this live. You have helped us so much. You need to do this live. So that's where the Date Night with Dr. Conti came to fruition, because a few of my couples, singles, and couples have said, wow, I've grown so much from listening and working with you, coaching with you on what healthy love looks like, that they've shared it with friends. They've asked me if they're able to share it with friends. Now, trust me, I do private sessions. Right down at the bottom, you'll see www.drcontispeaks. You can sign up for a session with me. and let's work with you yourself individually, or if you're a couple, on some of these things. All right. So, and then also trying to, not disappoint somebody, whether it's your family or whether it's other people. We stay in relationships for the wrong reasons, and you don't want it to look bad or disappoint someone. I know I did. I stayed in my toxic marriage, because I didn't want to hear "I told you so" from my sisters. They never thought it was a good idea. And I write about that. I write about that in my new Boss Lady book, But they never thought that was a good idea, and it wasn't. But I didn't listen, and then so I stayed in something that was really bad and unhealthy because I didn't want to hear "I told you so." So there's just many, many other reasons. Look, this is another one. People say the sex is so good, Dr. Conti. The sex is too good. It's so good. Means nothing. I kid you not. I have that on here. Again, and this PowerPoint I printed out because it was too much to pull it up. I am going to pull some stuff up, but I just wanted to go, and I didn't want to go through the whole PowerPoint, so I didn't want to add it here. Just wanted to go through a few of those things. So there are many, 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 many reasons why people stay in toxic relationships, why they stay in unhealthy relationships. Many, many, many reasons. And so we are not going to spend a lot of time on that. If you are just joining me, welcome to Date Night with Dr. Conti. I am going to be working every Friday night with you all live, talking about some amazing, amazing things, and that is healthy love and what healthy love looks like. I get so excited because I love love. I am a person that loves love, but I don't like toxic or bad relationships. I love healthy relationships. So I'm excited to talk about this because I want many of you to understand what a healthy love looks like. And I am going to give everybody, male or female, single or married, an activity to do to help you enjoy healthy love, attract healthy love, all of that good stuff at the end of every live. So again, for those who I wore red for several reasons. It's National Wear Red Day for Healthy Heart Month. Also, it's Valentine's Month. Also, it's Date Night with Dr. Conti. So let's also work on being healthy. That's oh my gosh, that's the best thing. Amari tried to take Chancellor's bone. I gave both of them a bone to keep them quiet while I am on live. Well, of course, Amari eats his up really quickly because he's bigger. And so then he tried to get Chancellor's, and he was not having that. No. So I have to still fuss at him because that was not nice. So, all right, here we go. We're going to talk about 3 areas tonight. 3 areas. Three areas. We're going to start with 3. We talked about some of the reasons why people stay in unhealthy relationships. And the other thing is people don't realize they don't even know what healthy relationships are. So let me pull up some things and talk to you about healthy relationships. And we're going to just work with 3. I want to do 13 before this 4 weeks is up. Before the 4 weeks are up, I am going to talk about 13 things to identify what healthy love looks like. Again, tag, share, and like, comment if you are watching and you have something that you want to share. This is a participatory conversation. First of all, if you're watching and now or even later, put in the chat, yes, if you think trust, the very first one, is absolutely necessary if you're going to have a healthy relationship. So I do a lot of study with Andrea Bornay, and she has a PhD We are a part of the Psychology Today group. And so she's also very, very helpful with teaching and talking about what healthy love looks like. And so trust, if you think trust is a part of what healthy love looks like, I want you to put yes down there. So trust is arguably among the most important reasons, characteristics you should have when it comes to a relationship. Without trust, there is a lack of solid foundation on which to build any type of emotional intimacy, and your potential to be hurt is greater. And not just hurt once, but hurt over and over again. Because you cannot have a great relationship or a healthy relationship and grow in your relationship and your relationship get better without trust. You just can't do it. Without trust, you would be left constantly, kings and queens, unsure of whether you can count on your partner to come through for you. You would be constantly wondering whether or not they really mean what they're saying because you don't trust them. You would be constantly wondering whether or not they are doing what they say they're doing, that they're where they say they are. And this is going to ultimately, undeniably, ruin any type of relationship, old or new. It's absolutely, unequivocally impossible. So if you do not have trust in your relationship on this date night, I want you to understand you do not have a healthy relationship. That is not what healthy love looks like. That is not what healthy love looks like. So I want you to chime in if you're watching. I'll come back to that, but who agrees with me that you cannot have healthy love without having trust? I don't want to have to worry about, not that I don't want to, I am not going to worry about what somebody else is doing. And I'm not going to be with someone who is constantly worrying about what I'm doing, because that means you don't trust me. And we just really can't have a relationship if there is no trust. Hi, Karen. Hi, how are you? Somebody's raising their hand. Please allow StreamYard to let me see, give them permission to let me see who you are. So yes, you just cannot. And so many times, I have women to say, well, but he buys me things, or he has a lot of money, or he knows the Lord, all of these things. But first of all, how do you know the Lord if you're not even trustworthy in your relationship? Sometimes I hear some things and I have to repeat it back to the clients that I either am coaching or counseling, and then they'll say, well, I guess you're right. Because sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And I always say this: no matter how you slice an orange, you're going to get orange juice. And so many people are trying to get apple juice out of an orange, meaning you want to create and have in a relationship, in a person, in a situationship, in a husband, in a fiance, in a boyfriend, in your boo. You want to create and have something that is just not there. There is just no apple juice in an orange. So there's just not some of the qualities that you're looking for. You have got to realize you're looking in the wrong place. You're looking in the wrong place. All right. So we're going to do just 3 to 4 every Friday night for date night. If you're coming in, join me, Dr. Conti, for date night. What are you drinking? What are you eating? We're going to just relax on Fridays. For those who are in wonderful, loving relationships, I want you to pop on and share Share your comments. What's happening for you that's working? What was some of the mistakes that you made? If you even have any questions or comments, I am glad to speak with you and talk to you about those things. So grab you something and relax and enjoy. Someone says, what's the point of love if you have no trust? Yes. What's the point of love? Someone says, I agree, just went through it again. So what I want to say too, even to that, is, what is it that we have? Self-discovery is the best recovery. That's one of my Kantiology statements and principles. So the more you discover about you, the better you're going to be. So you have to ask yourself, I always ask my clients these same two questions. What did you learn and how have you grown? And so you have to ask yourself that. What did I learn and how have I grown? And if you have not learned anything or you didn't grow, you will find yourselves in the same relationships, the same situations over and over again. And that's not even in relationships. That could be work situations, whatever. If you didn't learn from it and you haven't grown from it, you are, as they say, darned to repeat it. All right, so let's go back to what is number 2 on my list. What is number 2 on my list that you absolutely must have for you to constitute that you have a healthy relationship, or that you know what healthy love is all about? And that is communication. Communication. Listen, you can't have it. It's not healthy if you can't communicate. Communicating honestly and respectfully, especially all about the difficult things, is something that does not come automatically with everyone. We may learn to keep uncomfortable things under the surface for the sake of harmony or for the appearance of perfection. And we know that with social media, now that everything is podcast, social media, on live, Instagram, everybody wants to have this look of perfection. Or we also may have never even learned how to acknowledge difficult feelings to ourselves, let alone somebody else. And we're talking about communication. But if you can't be honest with yourself, how are you going to be able to honestly and openly and respectfully, I put that in there, make sure you know, respectfully communicate with others? Okay. So the other challenge is, this involves you being able to have a conversation and cultivate communication with somebody else and not involve any conflict or have a full-out war, lacking the ability not to even just take things to a level where you're trying to work out what you're talking about. I remember my grandmother used to say, oh my God, why do you guys argue so much? She says, me and your granddaddy never argued like that. And I didn't understand what she's talking about. I was young. I was like, what are you talking about? I wanted to say, Big Mama, please, everybody argue. And if she, back in those days, you couldn't, I said it in my head. If I said it out loud, those was when Poppy grandmamas. But what she meant was, they didn't argue like that. Like she said, like that. The hollering and screaming and shouting and throwing things and disrespecting one another when they argued, or when they were communicating, or when they were having a passionate disagreement, calling each other names, swearing at each other, hitting below the belt. She was like, we never did that. And let me tell you, healthy relationships have the same amount of disagreements as unhealthy relationships. It's not about the amount of arguments that you have or don't have. It's about how you communicate. It's about how you allow yourselves to be heard, to hear the other person without interrupting, without ready to just jump in there and give your part, without listening to them and then honestly hearing how they feel without you trying to talk about how you feel. When it's time to talk about how you feel, talk about how you feel. But if the conversation is about what that other person is going through, then you want to make sure that you're a good listener and vice versa. So, a strong, healthy communication in your relationship is so healthy love. You know, it's okay to disagree, but sometimes you have to agree to disagree. And sometimes you can disagree today, but if you are still holding on to that disagreement and you're bringing it back up day after day after, then your communication is ineffective. If you are having a disagreement or a passionate conversation, and now you can't speak to one another for 2, 3, 4 days, you're walking around emotionally abusing somebody because you're giving them the silent treatment of those types of things. These are things that are not healthy love. This constitute you don't have healthy love. So all this is about, all of this every Friday night, date night with Dr. Conti, is what does healthy love really look like? Again, couples, if you think you have healthy love, get on next Friday. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Share some of the things that you do to enhance your relationship, your marriage, your person that you are in a committed relationship with. And if you've had to, I have a page called Real Love After Trauma, because some people don't know what real love is because they've been in so many traumatic relationships, and they bring that same kind of stuff into something healthy. If they happen to be blessed and favored enough to get into a healthy relationship, then they will bring some of that old baggage into a healthy relationship. And then that just ruined the whole thing because you don't know how to enjoy a healthy relationship. You don't even know what a healthy relationship looks like. I had a client to me to say once, well, I don't think this guy really is into me. And I said, well, why? You really are, you guys haven't really dated that long. Why do you say that? And so she said, because he doesn't care what I walk out of the house in. I said, well, what do you mean by that? She said, not that I would wear booty shorts, but I've worn some really, really sexy stuff just to test him to see if he was going to be mad about it, or if he was going to tell me I can't go out in that, or if he was going to follow me to see where I was going because I was dressed like that. And he didn't do that. And I said, you know why? Nobody has time for that when you're in a healthy relationship, or if you're dating somebody healthy. So you are expecting from someone healthy the same type of trauma, drama, and chaos that you would have gotten dating somebody who was not healthy, who was abusive, who was a narcissist, who was toxic, who was insecure. Because a healthy man is not going. Okay, naturally, ladies, if you want a good man and you want a healthy man, you got to know how to carry yourself, first of all. So you should know how to go outside of the house. And a healthy man is going to watch to see, how do you carry yourself, whether you're with him or not. But to have to follow you or tell you you can't wear something, that's the behavior of a controlling, insecure man. And that's not healthy love. Okay? So some women have been in so many traumatic relationships that they don't know how to operate in a relationship with somebody that's healthy. And the same thing with men who are toxic. You are so used to controlling and being narcissistic and toxic that when you actually get a good woman, you don't know how to operate and how to treat her. You want to treat her like you treated the women that was insecure and that allowed those types of behaviors from you. But when you get with a healthy woman, trust me, brother, she's not having it. She's not allowing that. She's not bowing down to that. It's only going to take her a little bit of time to see, oh, this dude is really unhealthy. And let me tell you, I often say to my clients, the ones that I coach or counsel, sick attracts sick. Sick attracts sick. And what I mean by that is an unhealthy person needs an unhealthy person. We've heard all of our lives, rich attract rich. Okay. Yeah, but sick attracts sick too. And so an unhealthy person needs somebody. Hit like and share, tag. If you understand what I'm talking about, if you agree what I'm talking about, put yes, ouch, I agree, all of that. Let's talk. If you got something that you want to share, put it in the chat. I want to talk about it. But you have to realize it takes an unhealthy person to attract another unhealthy person, because an abusive, narcissistic person, whether it's a male or a female, they need somebody who is insecure so that they can do the things that they do. They need somebody who has some unhealed wounds. They need somebody who is not emotionally well. And you may be on your way, you may be working on it, but there's still some insecurities. There's still some, dealing with some emotional trauma. And so that's why you are attracted to them and they are attracted to you. Because if they run up on a healthy person, homegirl gonna say, no, I'm not having that. Or if you're toxic, homeboy gonna say, no, I'm not having that. Let me tell you, when I first started dating someone healthy, after going through an abusive, chaotic, toxic first boyfriend, then married an abusive, toxic husband. And so after doing the work, and many of you know my very first book was Deliverance to a Fresh Spirit, and getting delivered myself from all of that toxicity, I started dating. Of course, I started attracting healthy people at that time, because healthy attract healthy, just like sick attract sick. But I was still working on me. I wasn't there yet. I wasn't all the way there yet. And if you're fortunate enough to get someone that's healthy and they don't walk away from you, you are really, really blessed. And that's what happened to me. This person knew who I was. They could see who I was. They could see my heart. They could see that she's just been with people that didn't know how to love her. And she just think this is what healthy love looks like. And remember, I was used to having disagreements and arguments the way my grandmother used to say, why in the world are you talking to people like that? And why in the world is he talking to you like that? And I used to think that was okay. But upon growing and changing, I stopped talking that way to someone, because this particular relationship, this particular person taught me exactly what my grandmother was talking about, that you don't have to have a disagreement and argue like that. And so I can recall the very first time we had a real passionate disagreement, and I went to, you know how we do, smacking those lips and shaking that head and shaking my hand and speaking in a very disrespectful way. And let me tell you, this healthy person got up in my face, and I'm thinking, okay, here we go. Somebody else wanting to be in my face. Quietly, very quietly, he said, can y'all hear me? This is how quiet he said it. Listen, Conti, I will never, ever talk to you the way you just talked to me. He said, I will never, ever allow anybody to talk to you the way you just talked to me. And then, so very quietly, he said, and if you want this relationship, you will never, ever talk to me that way again. I was like, nobody had ever sat down and healthily talked to me about how to have a conversation with somebody that's passionate. And so that was the beginning of me understanding healthy relationship, learning, that I can trust somebody, that they're going to do exactly what they say they're going to do. They're not going to do exactly what they say they're not going to do. You could trust me. If I leave the house, I'm not going to be with anybody. I'm not trying to do anything, because that's what I was dealing with previously, with the toxic people, with the unhealthy love. You 15 minutes late and you stopped off and done something you shouldn't have done. Or, you just kind of question everything. That's so toxic, so unhealthy. Put unhealthy in the chat. Unhealthy. So the last thing we're going to talk about tonight on our date night with Dr. Conti. Aren't you guys enjoying this? Mm-hmm. The last one for tonight is patience. I'm going to talk about patience. No one can be perfectly patient all the time. And factors like lack of sleep, stress, physical health problems, all of that will make you more easily agitated at various points in your life. That's a part of being human. We do understand that, there's times when you're going to be human and you're not patient. But partners in a healthy, loving relationship extends to one another and to each other a basic common denominator of patience that allows for peace, flexibility, and support when one person is having a bad day or is not at their best. You have to be patient with people in a healthy relationship. That I always say there is no perfect relationship. There's no perfect partner, but you can be perfect for each other. And what that means is that you learn each other's ways and you learn how to be patient when you see this person is perhaps having a bad day or perhaps going through something or perhaps has made some changes, has made some growth. I'm not talking about waiting months and months and years to see one same old bad habit change, to see one thing or two things or three things that you complain about over and over and over and over and over. Again, now we're going back to trying to get apple juice out of an orange. Remember, I don't care how you slice it, that's not who that person is. So we're not talking about being patient with somebody that can never give you what you want. You have a whole different problem in that case. But being flexible, being supportive when that person needs you, perhaps they're sick or perhaps they're going through a layoff or something like that. When your partners are chronically impatient with each other, if you are chronically impatient with one another, that often creates a dynamic of, counting the resentment, counting, well, you did this and I was that for you, but now I want this, and you can, a tit for tat type of thing, a tit for tat type of relationship. And the resentment starts to build more and more, where when you just are constantly on the offensive because that person is so impatient with you. Being able to adjust to the ebbs and flows of a partner's mood in day-to-day life within reason. Please hear that. Within reason. can instead allow feelings of unconditional love. You want unconditional love. But again, let me come back to, we're not talking about being patient, because sometimes people, particularly women, we're too patient. You're trying to see something that, they always say hindsight is 2020. I say no, hindsight is insight. You just weren't looking at the time. You was trying to overlook and not look and deny because you wanted something that you couldn't get. So you was trying to make it something that it wasn't. You was trying to, thank you for putting unhealthy in there. You were trying to see stuff through the rose colored glasses. So you was waiting and waiting and waiting for something to be different. That's not the kind of patience I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. If you are patient about the same thing 6 months down the road, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about a whole year, 2 years, 3 years, you still being patient about the same thing. That person's not going to change. You got what you got. You have it. You have what you have. Okay? So any questions, any comments, any concerns? What does healthy love look like? That is what we're going to be talking about every Friday night in February. I'm excited to be here again. This is Dr. Conti Terrell. I am a healthy relationship coach. And what people say is, well, what is the difference between a relationship coach and a healthy relationship coach? All I can tell you is, for 26 years, I have helped people to identify what was toxic and unhealthy. And then I have taught them how to learn healthy characteristics that draws and attract healthy relationships and that attracts healthy love. So that's what I teach people to do, how to perhaps change some of the things that you are doing that's attracting and causing unhealthy relationships to gravitate to you so that you can attract a healthy love. And remember, I said a lot of times people have been in toxic, traumatic situations. And so you may have never saw or experienced what healthy love looks like. And you're looking for something from someone that is unhealthy. I'll see you again too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I say, okay, I saved you in 2008. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Nothing but God. Nothing but God. And I appreciate that. I get that all of the time. I had a woman to stop me in Rice Village, Epicurean, and I was just getting some groceries. And she said, Dr. Conti, are you Dr. Conti? And I said, yes. And she said, oh my God, I don't know where I would be without the power to change rule, which is one of my Contiology principles that I've taught for years. And I was trying to put, place the person. I've been doing this over 26 years. Trust me, I don't. Hundreds and thousands of people later, I don't remember everybody. Please don't ever be upset with me if somebody see me out and I don't quite recognize you. For most people, I do. But let me tell you, and if I don't, it's usually because you were one of the very, very successful clients and you weren't with me long. You came in and you was like, boom, 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 boom. You got it. Of course, Karen, I do remember you. I do remember you, Karen. And so, Karen, you even bought my book, I believe. And so, but she said, I was with you in 2012. It's like you, Karen, you knew the date. You said 2008. That's a long time. It's 2022. I've been doing this for years. But she said, I was with you in 2012. And she was just saying, but it saved her life. Yes, you did. Okay. See, I do. I remember you. And so she said, I have been practicing that, and that has changed my life. And not only did it change her life, it caused her to attract an amazing love and experiencing right now healthy love. So that's what it's about. That's what it's about. If you are an individual and you think you can benefit from learning and mastering what healthy love looks like and attracting, changing you. Because sometimes we don't know. Changing some of the things for the better for you that keeps attracting some of the, as I call it, the cuckoos, the clowns in the circus. I saw something the other day. It said, don't get mad if the clown, don't get mad. How did it go? It said, don't get mad if the clown keeps acting like a clown. It says you should be mad at yourself because you keep going to the circus. So if you want to work on not going to the circus and continue to attract the clowns, then contact me at www.drcontespeaks.com or email me at askdrconte@gmail.com. You can also email my executive assistant, Cassandra, at freshspirit.org. And let's set up an appointment. Couples. Like I said, I've got some couples that can get on here and say the same thing, that I've saved their marriages. And this is Relationship Month. If you want to get married, you guys know I'm also an ordained minister. And so I have married several people. It's just the fourth. But, a lot of people wanted to get married on the second. It was 2-2-2-2. So a lot of people want to get married on that day. And then other people want to get married on 2-22-22. So busy marrying people and all those good things. So contact me for that if you want me to officiate your wedding ceremony, your marriage actually, or your wedding ceremony. And so listen, I will be back every Friday. The Lord says the same. And we will be talking more about what does healthy love look like for couples, for relationships, for singles, how to attract that love if you are a single person, and how to enhance and grow and become healthy if you are not. And let me tell you, like I said, some stuff now, you just can't create. God can create a miracle, but you can't. And some stuff would be a miracle working kind of thing if that person turned out to be healthy. Not saying people can't change, people won't change, people don't change. They do. But a lot of times people are who they are. And as Maya Angelou says, when they show you who they are, believe them. Okay? All right, now I have an exercise. For you all. So for couples, this is also, remember, we're talking about Valentine. We're talking about enhancing those relationships, having some healthy love. I want you, and this came from Dr. Laura Berman. She has, and I've been recommending this for couples for a long time. She talks about the fantasy box. Okay, the fantasy box. Now, if you have kids, please move them out of the room. This is not a kid show. This is an adult show. And so in the fantasy box, I want you to, and you can decorate it. You can make it pretty. You can put glitter on it. You can put, get you a shoe box and decorate it. Get you some type of box and put fantasy box on it. This is for my couples. And get you two different color sticky pads. So maybe a pink and a green or a yellow and a blue, but of course, the pink will be the female, the blue will be the male, whatever one. You guys decide which is your sticky. You'll know, because it's just the two of you, which sticky is you and which sticky is him. All right? And so once a month, I want you to put a fantasy in the box. And then I want you to take turns looking in the box and pulling out a fantasy. So for example, if this is an example that was on a fantasy sheet of paper. She said her fantasy was that she wanted to have a reenactment or, a little foreplaying, acting, role playing, that she was the student and that her husband, this was a married couple, they've been married for 3 years, and her husband was, hi, how are you doing? Her husband was the professor. She was a college student. Her husband, nothing, no kid in high school and a teacher. No, nothing like that. She was an adult in her fantasy, and she was a college student, and she had a thing for her professors. And we all know this happens for real in real life so many times. And she said she wanted her husband to seduce her as if he was the professor and he had a thing for her, this adult student, and that they, were going to reenact as if that he saw her out and he seduced his student. This was her fantasy. This was in her box. So you put the fantasy in the box, and then the other person, each month you put something in, and each month one of you takes something out and reenact this fantasy. Now, once a month, you're not gonna be able to have this kind of fancy kind of love every time you have, make love with one another. So this is to build and enjoy, and so then his fantasy was, on his fantasy sheet in his box, he said that he wanted her to surprise him on one of his business trips. And when he opens up the door of the hotel, that she's laying in the bed nude. And so, but the thing about it is neither one of them had ever known these fantasies. Like, she never knew he had that fantasy. He never knew she had her fantasy. So you get a chance to express things that you probably wouldn't just talk about, even though we talked about having good communication. But you express in your fantasy box things that you probably haven't talked about. All right. Now, that's your activity for the couples. Now, singles, I want you to have your own little box, and it's called self-love box. Okay. Your box is the self-love box. Their box is the fantasy box. And so I want you to get a sticky as well. And I want you to put in your self-love box something that you feel, and we've talked about 3, we're going to talk about 13, something, a healthy quality that you feel you want from your partner. Now, you are going to put something in your box once a week. Okay. And every week, you're going to add a new healthy quality in your self-love box. Now, guess why it's called self-love? Because remember, I said sick attracts sick and healthy attract healthy. So if this is what you want that you're putting in your box, we have to be what we want. You have to mirror that. So if you want somebody that's honest and truthful, love yourself and be honest and truthful to you. If you want someone that's attractive and fine, love yourself and work out and become healthy and attractive and fine. You see where I'm going? So your box for the couples is dual, it's twofold. Both of you are getting a chance to share your fantasies and express your desires with one another. And the box for the single person is twofold as well. You're getting the opportunity to put in your box something healthy that you know that you may want or desire in somebody else that you may have not had before, or you had it and you want it again, but you're putting it in your box. But not only, it's twofold too, because not only are you doing that for what you want, it's also you're going to mirror it and be that person yourself so that you can attract that kind of love. All right, that's your exercises. Those are your activities. I'm going to give one for each couple and a single for the next 3 weeks. Meet me right back here. Have a happy date night with Dr. Conti. Tag, like, and share. Tag, like, and share. I've enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me. Remember, you can reach me at drcontyspeaks.com, drcontyspeaks.com, or axdrconti@gmail.com.